Hello and welcome back. In our last lesson, we looked at types of funders and what drives them. And now we are going a little deeper and diving in. And I want you to know that this is one of the most important skills you will ever develop as a grant writer, reading between the lines. This is a course on grant writing, and if you are new here, we are looking at grants, and this is the module 2, understanding funders and the funding ecosystem. In this lesson 2, we are going to be looking at reading between the lines, mission alignment and buzzwords, and decoding call for proposals. Now, this training is brought to you by grantdatabase.org. You can check it out if you need platform for your grants and funding. So I encourage you to subscribe to this channel and give this video a thumbs up. Ensure to comment your activity and assignment at the top of the video in the comment section. If you have further questions also, you can leave them there. So anyone can read a funding document, but great grant writers, they go further. They learn how to read what is not written in that document, yet matters the most. So in today's lesson, we're going to cover what mission alignment really means, number one, and also we're going to look at how to decode buzzwords funders use, and also we're going to look at and how to interpret a real call for proposals, CFP. So you know exactly what funders want, right? So for short, call for proposal mean is CFP is a short form for call for proposal. Same also is there's this other word which is request for proposals. So there are two of those words. Oops. Okay, proposals. There are two of those words that I will be changing interchangeably. I'll be using interchangeably. We have the call for proposals and we have the request for proposals. So any of those two, I'm still talking about the same thing. All right, so let's get started. Now, what is mission alignment? What is mission alignment? Mission alignment means your project fits with why the funders exist. Now, I'm talking about this because in our last lesson, I mentioned something that understanding is 80% of grant writing and 20% is the writing itself. Now, mission alignment means when your project fits with why the funders exist. In the last lesson, we talked about this in some detail. Now, funders don't just want good projects, right? They want projects that fulfill their mission. We've covered this from module 1 and also in the module 2 lesson 1. So let me show you the difference. This now, look at this two. I have this example here, and this one that marks not aligned. We see you propose a project on clean energy to a funder focused on girls education. Now look at this. Now this type of proposal shows that it does not align with what the funders want to fund, as we have covered in several other lessons. So if you are proposing a project on clean energy, so you need a funder that focuses on clean energy and climate action. Now, you can propose a project on clean energy to a funder that is focused on girls' education. So it's just misalignment. There's no alignment. There's no reason why a funder that is focused on what they want to achieve is girls' education and you are giving them clean energy, they will not fund it. So even though you have a very good proposal, at the end of the day, they might not even read it. So now let's look at this example of align. So if you propose training school girls in solar installation to a funder focused on STEM and education, so this is a goal. So in the first one, we look at what doesn't align, the project and the funder's objective goals does not align. But in this other example, we see you are proposing training school girls in in solar installation to a funder that is focused on girls education, or a funder focused on STEM and education. So this is a very good alignment because you are helping the funder to achieve their mission. That is what mission alignment is. So do you see the difference between these two examples, the aligned and non the aligned? Now, you did not change the passion, you can understand. You just connected it to the right priorities if you are submitting in that way. So how do you find their mission? How do you find mission of funders? How do you get to know their missions? Okay. Now, almost every funder states it on their website. All of them, they state it on their website. If, let's say, for example, let me give a practical example here. Let's search for Ford Foundation. For example, I Google Ford Foundation, and this is Ford Foundation. Let's check Ford Foundation. This is their website, and even from here you can see what their vision, what their mission is all about. So what Ford Foundation is all doing is working with visionaries on front lines of social change worldwide. They said that we are building a world where everyone has the power to shape their lives. So if you look at all these things on Ford Foundation, you will see their vision. You will see, now look at this, exactly what we are talking about. I give example of priorities and mission. We are talking about mission alignment. Now they state it here clearly that our priorities, now this is their priority. We believe inequality is at the root of nearly every injustice. To create meaningful, lasting change, we focus on 9 interconnected areas. So now you see now that Ford Foundation, this is a practical example. They focus on 9 areas, and those 9 areas are here: civic engagement and government, creativity and free expression, disability rights, future of work or workers, gender, racial and ethnic justice, global governance, mission investment, natural resources and climate justice, technology, and society. Now, these are the 9 objective priorities of Four Foundation. Now, if you are now bringing a project on climate action, for example, a project on climate to Ford Foundation, that means that they are not going to fund it, right? Because it does not align with their priorities. What align with their priority is they are looking at the case of inequality. If you have any of those projects you want them to fund, it must align with any of the 9 priorities they have here. So that is what we are talking about in the mission alignment. So we are saying that every funder stated it on their website, our mission or what we fund, just exactly here, exactly we have seen here in Ford Foundation. So you can see where we work and a lot of things. You read about them to know exactly what type of project Ford Foundation support before you even start writing. Now, also you can also look at their mission by looking at past projects. You can check grantees they've supported. Still on Ford Foundation, we're going to be using Ford Foundation as our let's check. We have seen their mission, we have seen what they've supported, and let's look at what we do. This is their right, and now on the aspect of okay what we do, our grants. Okay, let's look at our grants to see the type of. Now here you are going to see this information that funding to fight inequality, right? You are going to see awarded grants that they've awarded. You are going to see grant database. You are going to see grant making at it. So a whole lot of information is on the funder's website that you can see past project that they have supported. So these projects are going to, they are about what these people are all about doing, the type of project they want to support, and how they are going about it. So this is why it is very, very important to understand the funder before you try to write anything. So it will just be a waste of energy to write what the funders will not fund, what they will not support, because it does not fall in their mission. So another way that you can understand the funder statement or funder, what funders are looking to support, is in the CFP document. Remember, CFP is called for proposals, and if I say RFP is request for proposals. So a lot of when organization like Ford Foundation want to support a project, they give what they call CFPs, and then you can see them. And we're going to look at a detailed one in this. So another thing we want to look at in this course is buzzwords. Now, what are buzzwords? Now, founders love using buzzwords. These words are not just fluff, they are signposts that tell you what they care about. So these are signposts that tell you that, hey, this is what this founder care about, right? Now, and then in this lesson also, we're going to do exercise. I've showed you about Ford Foundation. We've gone on their site to look at their priority, their mission. Now let's look at some buzzword, and I'm going to bring a live proposal that we are going to be looking at from grant database. So, and we're going to start decoding some buzzwords. Now here, let's decode some of these buzzwords. We have impact. So when they use this type of words in the CFP, in the call for proposal, what does it mean? So it means measurable results that improve lives. If they use this word scalability, it means, can your project grow beyond one location? So these are some of the words that they use a lot in call for proposals, and it has a meaning, right? It really has itself, like, okay, this is exactly what this word means, and this is exactly what they want you to know in the call for proposal before you start writing and submitting your project. So when they use the word innovation, they mean a new or improved way of solving a problem. And if they use the word sustainability, they are asking a question that, can your project survive after funding ends? Okay, if you are submitting a project for $10,000, for example, and they give you the money, okay, what will now happen after the end of the project? After you completed the money. So that is what sustainability is. So if they are speaking, if they use the word inclusivity, so they're asking that, are marginalized groups involved or benefiting from that particular project? If they use the word community led, is, was the idea born from the people affected in the community? And if they use the word system change, they are asking the question that, will this fix root causes, not just symptoms of that. Now I'm going to bring this grant database. You can check grantdatabase.org. Now this is a call for proposal, and let's open it up so that we can see one or two things in this place as cause. And like I said earlier, we are going to analyze this completely, and I just want to show you, okay, some of the things we are looking for. Now this is a call for proposal by the UNDP, United Nations Development Program, UNDP. So, and okay, all right. I don't want to delve into analyzing this right now, because there's a full video of that. I mean, we are getting into that. All right. Okay. Now, what I want to tell you is, still on these buzzwords, we have this call for proposals, and now this proposal is about reimagining Nigerians' plastic crisis through grassroots innovation. Now, when they say grassroots, what does it mean? Just like we are talking about here, community led. Same thing also with grassroots innovation. You know, we have the word innovation here. Innovation, a new or improved way of solving a problem. Now, are you beginning to see some of these things that we are talking about? They mentioned they want to reimagine plastic crisis through grassroots innovation, right? So these two words, they have what it means, and is in this understanding as a grant writer, you can be able to submit a proposal for this particular grant that really fits into exactly what they want and win the project. So now let's go to the third one. We are getting back to this. We are getting back to this that we do a full analysis. And okay, the third thing that we are covering is how to read a call for proposals, and this is where we are going into we are going back into that UNDP call for proposal to have a full look at it. Now, a call for proposal, CFP, is a funder's way of saying, here's the problem we want to solve, send us your best idea. Now, UNDP is saying that, hey, you people in Nigeria or wherever they want to support, we have this money like $100,000, $200,000 that we want to give out. Now, this is the problem we want to solve with this money. Send us your idea and let's see if we can give you the money. That's exactly what they are saying. Now, but most people skim it and miss key clues. Now, if you don't pay attention to CFPs, how will you know exactly what the funders want, and how will you know exactly how to prepare your proposal for that? Now, before we go into that UNDP again, now I have a sample CFP on screen here. This is a fictional, but it's very, very realistic. Now, the title of this CFP is Empowering Young Women Through Digital Skills. Empowering Young Women Through Digital Skills. And the funder is SheTech Foundation. Now, eligibility here is NGOs in sub-Saharan Africa. Now, their focus areas is digital inclusion, job readiness, and gender equality. And the outcomes they want with this fund is 500 young women trained, 70% employment or entrepreneurship rate within 6 months, and their budget limit is $50,000. And the deadline for application is July 31, 2025. Now, this is a fictional CFP. Now, in lesson 4 of this training, we are going to look at how to decode a full. The whole lesson 4 is dedicated to understanding CFP. So I don't want to jump and go to that UNDP. We are going to get there in lesson 4. All right. So now, how do we read this CFP? Now, understanding how we read this will help us also in lesson 4 when we get to the actual call for proposal, especially about the UNDP. And I will take you through how to understand it, what they mean, and if you are going to submit a proposal for it, what you will need to do. So, having given that example, how do we read that? Now, we have seen the title and the focus area, which is their top priority. Now, let's get back to that. We are talking about how do we read this call for proposal. Now, the title of this CFP is Empowering Young Women Through Digital Skills. Now, the objective that these people want, what they want to do is that their top priorities, your project must empower young women using tech and have an economic outcome. Exactly. This is how you read call for proposal. The first thing is on the title, empowering young women through digital skill. Now, if your project is not empowering young women, and if your project is not about digital skill, you have no business applying for this. You understand, right? Because their top priority is the title of the proposal, the title of the CFP rather, and their focus area. Now, the other thing you will have to look at again is their outcomes expected. The expected outcomes here. They want your success metrics. They want numbers. If your plan does not include clear paths to jobs, you will fall short. Now, if you are preparing a proposal for this call for proposal, and your plan that you are giving to them is not sufficient or cannot help them to achieve this outcome, they will not fund you. You get what I'm saying? So now this is also another thing you have to know. Now, another thing you have to look at again is the budget limit. The budget. Now, set your ambition accordingly. Now, when they say that they are giving out $50,000 for this particular project, don't write a proposal and say, okay, what you need is $200,000. You understand? So these are some of the reasons why they might not, because it goes above their budget. Now, there are some other organizations that give that don't mention amounts. You just submit, okay, I need so amount for this particular project. But for them, they said that their budget limit is $50,000, and they want to achieve that type of result with $50,000 in the time they want to. Now, another thing that is very, very important is to look at the eligibility. So don't waste your time if you are not eligible. Now, look at this eligibility. For me as a grant writer, I don't really like wasting my time reading a lot of documents on grants, because as a grant writer, you have to study to understand several documents of what the funders want. One of the major things I do is I go straight to eligibility, because I don't like wasting my time. So now eligibility here means that they need this particular grant. If you are going to apply and you are going to win, the major thing is that you must be an NGO in sub-Saharan Africa. So that means that if you are not an NGO, don't bother wasting your time to apply. If you are a startup, don't apply. If you are individual, don't apply, because they might not even read your proposal to that level, no matter what is there. So the thing is that you must not waste your time on several of these things. Look at the eligibility. Okay, if your organization is an NGO in Africa and is aligned with their mission, with their objective, with their priority, then you are good to go to apply. So that is exactly how to go through CFP. This is in the theory aspect. In lesson 4, like I mentioned, we are going into that UNDP. We are going into this, and I will be telling you step by step, exactly interpreting exactly what UNDP want to achieve in this. But because of this lesson, let's stay on track so that we are not going to give a lot of information that at the end of the day will be too much. Now, final tips I have for you regarding reading call for proposals or request for proposal is that most of the time, if you are in-house, and you are in-house, I mean, if you are employed as a grant writer, or if you are doing a freelancer, you can print it out. Now, if you print it out, highlight keywords, treat it like a study guide, because your proposal is going to depend on your understanding about the call for proposal. You have to understand the call first before you can start writing anything at all. Now, that is one thing. So treat it like a study guide. You can print it, you can highlight keywords, you can do a lot of things with it. I know grant writers that print out, like for example, they print it out to study it line by line to understand exactly what these people mean, so that you can be able to, you know, put up your proposal. So another thing is look at past grantees. Look at if it's a proposal that they've been running on a yearly basis. Look at how many of those people that won it last year in the previous years. So look at what they've done, their project. What does it look like? So what kind of project got selected in the last 2 years or 3 years? So you might not be able to do this, especially if it's a new call for proposal, if they have not done this thing at all in the first place. So you might not be able to do that. So another thing is mirror the founder's language in your application. So by mirroring founder's language, you are using their language for them also. So that means that you've really understand the proposal, your project align with them, and also you are using their language for them that they will understand. Another thing is check for evaluation criteria. Like I mentioned it in that place. Looking at eligibility evaluation criteria. Here we're going to see that, and I don't want to bog you too much with that. So they usually list what they are scoring on. Most of the CFPs usually list what they want to score on. Like that UNDP, they've mentioned it. There is a part in it there, and we are going to get there. Yeah, yeah. So, okay. Well, I have an exercise for you. This video is getting too long. All right. Now this exercise is very, very important. I want you to do this theoretically. I've shown you quite some numbers of things, and it will be very, very important if you can be able to do this by yourself, right? Now go to grantdatabase.org or any other site that you can see call for proposals. Now you pull out any CFP you are interested in, any of them that you are interested in, and you're going to ask yourself what three buzzwords keep showing up in this proposal. The second one is you ask yourself what is the funder really trying to change in the world, and then you also ask yourself how does my idea align with that mission. Now this is an exercise for you. You can comment this on the video comments in the comment section. Put down your answers there. I can be able to see what you are doing. If you are in this training, the WhatsApp group is there for you that you can drop the exercise so that we can both review it. And if there is a comment, I can give you a comment on them. And if there is anything that you can improve on, then we take it from there. All right. So let's recap where we have come to in this lesson 2. Mission alignment is your proposer's heartbeat. Is very, very important. Also, I let you to know that buzzwords are founders whispering what they want, and also CFPs are not just rules; they are roadmaps. So once you learn to read between the lines, you will stop writing to impress and start writing to connect. So that is when the magic happens. In our next lesson, we explore key funding trends, the hot topics funders are prioritizing right now, from climate action to digital inclusion. Trust me, you will want to be ready for that. So this is grantdatabase.org, and I'm Oluwole sharing you on every step of the way. So if you are new here, ensure you subscribe to this channel and check out all those other lessons in this training. See you in the next lesson.